name's Adam Woodlee, and I'm the owner of Wide Open Design. I started the business about 8 years ago, and it really just started out just like a lot of your businesses start out. I was pretty much a young guy. Started out, four-wheeling was just a hobby, you know. Then me and my dad actually started building off-road vehicles and trucks and whatnot. Then it kind of grew into where I really enjoyed working on them as much as I did riding. So I'd work on my stuff, and then my friends wanted me to work on their stuff. Not many people were building stuff that was really had a real finished off detailed look to it, and that's where I kind of found a niche of really finishing off in detail work and stuff like that. There were a few, but there weren't many. So that right there, I mean, I kind of started getting business, and I got in some pretty cool Jeep builds and stuff like that. Then I got my first buggy build, and then I built a cab truck and all kinds of stuff, and just kept on just trying to make each one nicer than the other one. A lot of the vendors that I work with now were some of the vendors that I worked with building the first buggy that I ever built to go race King of the Hammers with. Around that same time as when I hired Rocky. Rocky's my main sales guy at the counter. He still is today. He's been with me longer than anybody else in the company, or right at 5 years now. So he and I kind of got together, and all I really hired him in to do was really push parts, sell parts, and then handle day-to-day, work. It let me work in the shop.
My name is Rocky here at Wide Open Design. I run most of the sales section of the shop here and try to manage some of the shop projects, keep those on track. We keep multiple parts in stock. We've got multiple seats from different manufacturers. We keep seat belts in a couple different sizes in stock. Transmission shifters from Winter's Performance. We do lighting from a couple manufacturers in LED light bars and HID lights. Suspension components ranging from coilovers, rod ends, link bar material, on the shelf, bungs, jam nuts, misalignment spacers. On the razor side of things, we keep, again, seats in stock, seat belts, doors, suspension components. We also have a line of do-it-yourself components that we manufacture that are in here as raw component, in the back for builders at home builders.
It's not necessarily building one high-end rock crawler at a time. It turned into building maybe one high-end rock crawler, but it also came into building chassis, and we turned into a production line of razor cages and razor parts. We started off with just kind of an idea of taking a razor and building parts that were needed, and then within a year we had 22 different products for a different variety of razors. This right here is a Razor 1000 that we actually just got it in here to do R&D with. We're looking at doing two different razor production cages. One of them being a regular straight bent razor cage. One of them being a rolled roof razor cage for the 1000. We're going to do bumpers for it and Nerf bars, and then suspension work like we've done for the 900. This is just a little example of our 900 XP cage and rear bumper section. That those two come together in a kit. We can pretty much build all that stuff in-house in a jig, put it on a pallet, send it to you. Everything we build for a razor is 100% bolt-on. There's no welding or anything else involved with turning your pretty much stock razor into, whether you want to just race it or ride it or whatever else, but it just turned it into a safer machine. This right here is a 4400 car that we built. We built this car actually a few years ago, and now we just we maintain it here at the shop. We do all the race prep on the car and all the maintenance and everything else. Car's 100% chromoly, fully TIG welded. Everything in it, tube work axles, housing, heat treated chromoly housings, and then LS motor, turbo 400, and a 4-speed Atlas. Pretty kind of, I would say, a general parts list, but it's all put together in a real nice package. And we've gained a lot of knowledge about the different areas of off-road racing, as you will, from Ultra 4 to Southern Rock Racing and whatever. We kind of had our hand in a little bit of everything. We took that technology that we learned and, just little things and actually durability, and we took it from racing and we just put it right to the trail riding guys. Not only do we build real high-end race cars and whatever else, we also work on stuff like this little jewel. It's just a buggy a customer brought in. We built him a 14 bolt a few months ago. He actually just kind of saved on it, waited on our schedule and his money. Now he brought it back, dropped it off. We're going to put that front axle in this buggy. It's got a Dana 60 in it now. We're taking the 14 bolt, swapping it out. We've kind of got this new line of what we're actually calling a high-end hill killer, and what it is, most of the buggies are coming out. They're the double tube frame rail style. We haven't built that style of buggy in a long time, but the buggies that are evolving now are getting beat harder than we've ever seen them get beat before, and the horsepower is going out the roof with it. We're building this buggy for a customer, and it's actually getting a LSX block LS base motor. It's 440 cubic inches, about 685 horsepower, and then to a turbo 400 transmission. And then it's getting a new Trailworthy Fab Hero case. From there, you're going down to, it's got a pair of Dana 80s in it. It's the first buggy we've built in-house with a pair of Dana 80s in it. Then it's having a set of R knuckles that we manufacture, put on each end that'll hold a 2-inch axle shaft RCV bell that's like the Rockwell sized. All 2-inch shafts in it, custom made spools for it the whole way through. Buggy, and then what's really cool about this buggy, and it's pretty different from most rock bouncers, I think we're going to see it more and more this year and in the years passing on, but the buggy has bypass shocks from Radflow. This makes for the suspension to be way more tunable. It's a bigger shock package than what's been normal. And actually, this buggy's made to have actual suspension travel. There's no limit strap in the center of the buggy holding the travel down. It'll have full shock range of motion a whole way through the travel, and that's what we're really looking for. We're actually trying to take the bounce out of rock bouncing, and we're actually wanting these buggies to go, instead of just, jump and fly up a hill. I want them to actually move ground and make time up a hill. We ended up with a showroom in the new facility, and then we've got lots of place for inventory. We could probably hold the largest amount of off-road based inventory on the East Coast, and it grows every day. We built a production chassis that started off as a Revolution chassis. Then we changed it up and we built it into a 4-seat chassis, and we shortened our original chassis up for more trail riding guys instead of just racing guys. And then we built a smaller one, which is the Evolution chassis. And so it all kind of grew around just figuring out kind of a good base plan that worked as far as a chassis and everything else, and then adding in little things each time that made the chassis universal. I mean, the Revolution chassis will fit, any kind of axle, any kind of drivetrain that pretty much is within reason that you want to put into it.